Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. This episode of Welcome Home is brought to you by DVC Resale Market. Thank you for joining us on episode 346 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom, here with Trevor. How's it going, Trevor?
Hey, pretty good. You know, we had so many things we were talking about before the show.
I know.
There's something that I did want to start talking about on the show, and I completely forgot what it is now.
Oh, I was talking about how
it was around your trip planning.
Yeah, it probably was. Because Trevor and I were playing around with AI, and sometimes AI goes a little too far and does things that you don't want it to do. So
yeah.
But anyway,
it's a challenging space to be in.
But anyway, this is Saturday, right? We're recording this on Saturday. My trip is I'm leaving on Thursday morning. I'm going to leave as early in the morning as I can. We try to get a good jump on things. I don't like sitting in traffic, and my daughter's up at 6 a.m. anyway, and I'm usually up at 6 a.m. anyway too. So, we usually will leave here. We wake up at 6, we get ourselves together, and we're out the door, right? There's no more packing that happens at, that day, right? Everything's done.
Of course. Yeah, right? It's get up and go.
Yeah, but, because this is happening on a Thursday and we just have all this, we have just the general life stuff, right? Like my daughter had a soccer game this morning. I'm doing this right now. My daughter's got, Easter event thing. I think there's a birthday party thrown in there somewhere. There's gymnastics. We just got all this other stuff and we're trying to accomplish stuff in between there. It's challenging. Trevor, I don't even know where my magic bands are at this point. I'm still trying to find my magic bands. That's where how far behind I am on all of this. I'm not even at the most basic right now.
Wait, so sorry, you need your magic bands on a cruise? I feel like you don't. I should have known this, but
you don't need them. I just like the convenience of magic bands in general.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. And because you can use them on board.
Right,
now, given
Sorry,
on the cruise ship, they're called Disney bands. They're not magic bands.
Right. Sorry, I forgot about this. I forgot this was an aspect of being on a cruise ship. Yeah.
Well, the other thing is too for the kids club, and we didn't know this going in. This was a blind spot for us last time, right? So my daughter has, the magic, the newer magic band. She has older ones too, right? But we didn't realize for the kids club, the magic band actually has to be charged, right? So we just sent her in with an uncharged one, because if they don't have a charged one, then they actually will give you one there, that you kind of rent, and they actually will put a charge on your account that they'll take back when you return it. But because of the way the way the kids club works is they track the kids, they know where the kids are at all times. So if we go to pick her up, they know where to find her, right? Which I'm fine with. The idea of tracking people with magic bands is slightly creepy, but in this particular application, it makes sense to me, and I'm fine with it. But
the thing is, it's a highly visible, clearly what it's doing. That's exactly. You're right. Yeah. It's fine because it has a clear intent. It's not.
They're not doing it secretly. Yeah, I know why they're doing it. I know that they're doing it, and it's fine. But for those that know stuff about the magic bands or just about, RFIDs and stuff like that, there's the long range and there's the short range. The short range doesn't require any sort of battery really, but the rechargeable piece is for the long range. You need that. But the new ones, you got to recharge them because you can't use the long range stuff without the battery. And that's what the problem is. Right. But I didn't know this going in. I just assumed they were doing I don't know. I don't know what I thought they were doing. I just didn't know. Mostly because I couldn't find my magic band charger. That's really what
you thought they were just memorizing the faces every kid that walked in there, and they knew that your kid's name was X and this kid's name was, and yeah.
Silly me. I thought they would just yell her name down the hallway. Just your parents are here. That's I don't know.
You mean most normal places, daycare where they're okay, we'll go get your kid. Yeah.
Yeah. I just imagine, have you ever seen, Trevor, like in like some of the behind the scenes stuff when they show like the trackless ride, or like have you just like when you got on like Minnie and Minnie's, Minnie Mickey's, the Runaway Railway, and you just like peek over at the screen and you can like see that the operator can see like where all the trackless vehicles are, like they have like the track and like you can see where they all are. That's just like how I imagine it is at the kids club. There's just a whole bunch of different dots on the map and they're all over the place running around.
Probably. I mean, and then they just, find, this person's name and it zeroes in on,
Yeah. Listen, it all makes sense. I just didn't know that last time, right? So in that particular scenario, like Magic Bands are very helpful for that, for the kids club specifically. So might as well get all of them. And plus we're going to be at Vero Beach afterwards too. So it's like, you might as well just do it, right? But I just can't find them. I don't know. My Magic Bands, for whatever reason, after every trip, they just disappear into some abyss.
You and like need the Ziploc bag, Tom.
I know.
I keep all of mine in a Ziploc bag in my travel day pack, and I know exactly where they are.
Now, my wife seems to know where they are, but she has not clued me in onto where they. Like she's like, I think I know where they are, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad that you think you know where they are, but where are they? Like, get them. You know what I mean? So, but even like,
do you not just keep them with your luggage? Like, because you need your luggage for traveling. Wouldn't it make sense to keep them with your luggage?
They typically end up in a backpack. See, here's the difference though, Trevor. Is you're flying somewhere, right? So you're throwing everything in your bag, right? Like because we're driving, a lot of times a lot of the stuff we're using on the last day ends up in a backpack, right? Because we're not packing these things up.
I mean, my Magic Bands are in a backpack as well, but it's specifically a travel backpack. It's reserved for that purpose. It's not like it doesn't get mixed in with the other bags we have in the house. I guess that's,
we've got like 100 backpacks floating around this house. So like they're probably in a backpack somewhere. I just don't know where. Right. So that's just not problem number one. Right. Like, but I haven't, and I know you, Trevor, you start packing like a month before the trip. Like I am so last minute with this stuff. You know what I mean? And my wife's like, well, we got, all week. And I'm like, no, we don't. I was like, we got Monday through Wednesday. That's it. Like and that feels like a lot, but we don't, we once you get home from work, you feed your kid, you do whatever else you're going to do. You don't have a lot of time every night, and so it's, it's certainly a little stressful, plus I'm getting a new roof put on my house on Monday. So there's also that going on at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'll be honest. So this is, I'm not judging you. I'm not saying how you're doing this is right or wrong, but my take on it would be if I knew I was leaving on Thursday, my bags would be 100% packed by Sunday night for exactly what you're talking about, is that I would make sure everything is done by Sunday night and that, it would just be small incidental stuff that I would need, but the night before.
Yeah. Like the toothbrushes and toiletries and stuff that you need to use. Yeah.
Because I would not want to be thinking about it, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday when I have to work and everything like you, I don't, I have other things going on. I want to be done. Like, the last full day I have, the full day off I have would be like, that's the last day. Or alternately, I would also like, take a day off of work before I'm leaving so that I have time to pack. But
well, listen, my plan is to be ready by Sunday night. Like that is the plan, right? The problem is more that can I get there? Like, am I going to have enough time? Because like I said, we got all this other kid stuff going on and, just getting our house, like we've got to go grocery shopping. We got to, all this stuff we have to do. And we just, got to find the time to do it. So, listen, I'm stressed about it, but at the end of the day, it will be fine. I will probably be able to get everything done by Sunday. We got to do laundry, all that fun stuff, right? So it's like all of it. And the other part is too, and this is going to sound bad, that unfortunately I'm relying on my wife for this, saying that it sounds bad, but we're going to Vero afterwards. We're going to have 4 adults and 3 kids in a 2-bedroom, and I was saying, well, we should probably get stuff to make like breakfast in the room and lunch in the room and maybe dinner in the room too. Because, it's Vero. It's not like we're at Disney World and we have like a million dinner options and stuff like that. There is a restaurant on site. It's a little pricey, and and we're going to just be coming off the cruise, and our all of our wallets are going to be hurting a little bit. So it's one. I was so I'm like, can you find out like what they want? I don't know what they eat. I need to know what they want for breakfasts and lunches and dinners, and because I want to do a grocery order before we get on the ship. But it's like, that's another thing that's outstanding. So it's just, it's just me. I just want to just take control of these things and do them. And I'm just, it's it's my wife's really good friend that we're going with. So it's like,
you're not going to hit them up out of the blue and be like, what do you want for groceries?
What do you want for food? And that's the thing. But so we're very excited. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that like I am stressed. Yes, but I am very excited as well.
I get it. It's exciting because I know you're going to go and have a great time, but it's also, it's very hectic because again, like you said, I'm very much, I try my best to plan things out as far as possible. Not to say that I would never do like a, book something 2 months out and plan it kind of thing, but it would be like, if I was to do that, I wouldn't be able to have a lot of other things going on in my life for that to succeed.
I get it. Yeah.
Like same thing as you it's like, there is other activities going on. There is like, you do have to factor that in. And that's why I like planning so far out, is because I know that it's like, hey, I have, 7 months to figure out like, if there's any, I know it sounds silly, but it's like, hey, do I have enough pairs of shorts? Do I need to buy new clothes? Do I need to, do I need to restock certain things? And, making sure I have the time to do it, not, not the position that you're in where it's like, oh my God, it's a week before and I don't know if I have everything that I need. Right. Like, I get it.
I also like need to, because we're driving, like I need to get the car together, right? Like I need to get the car. I want to get the car cleaned and washed and all that stuff. So we have a nice little environment to sit in the car for 8 hours. And then, I just make sure that everything's good there. Like there's just so many things I got to do to get ready. And it's just in my head, it's like, how am I going to do all this? But it's going to be fine. Like I'm going to be fine. It's not, it'll be all right. It is what it is. But, and I just want to
checklist it.
Yeah. I just want to start. That's the other thing, right? I probably drive my wife insane because I do make checklists because I tend to forget things and I don't want to forget anything. And, especially for the cruise and now you're used to this, Trevor, but me, not so much, right? Where we have to have our passports for the cruise. Right. And like, we're not like in the routine of always bringing our passport with us unless we're flying somewhere. Right. Like if we're just going to Disney, we're not bringing our passport, right? Like, so like, it's just little stuff like that I could see myself forgetting, but I probably won't because I know in my head that I need my passport,
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just all that. It's a lot. But I'm, like I said, I know in my head what we need to do. It's just getting there,
That's fair.
Yeah. So I am excited though. I'm very, very excited for a vacation. I'm very excited to check out the fantasy. I am still stressed out about the dinner time thing. But
it'll be fine.
I mean, like, yeah.
I'm gonna ground you on this, Tom. Just to center you again. Remember that your expectations are only your expectations.
Yeah.
Because I know you know like what best case scenario looks like because you have done all the research and whatever. But if your family ends up just eating, at whatever time, or you end up getting like quick service because the sit down time didn't work for you or whatever.
I know, but I want to go to the sit down. Though. I want to go to the sit down. They're cool restaurants. I want to check them out.
And this may not be the time that you get to do it. The same, I'm the same way where I'm like, hey, there's lots of things that I want to do. I want to go, take trips to various Disney parks, but I realize that, now's not always the time. So
I wish there was shady people standing on the ship, like when you get on being like, people that are selling tickets for events, like I got four
like
for $5.45. I got four for $5.45.
Gray market resellers of dining reservations.
I want to do what Kevin McAllister's mom did while she's trying to get home to Kevin, where she's walking around and offering earrings and watches and things for tickets. That's what I want to do. I want to walk up. Is it frowned upon for me to walk up to the line where they do the changes and just go $100 to anybody who switches with me? $100. It's just like, literally, is that wrong? Like,
I can guarantee you you would so quickly have a cast member on.
You think so?
Try that. Yeah, I'm fairly confident they would not appreciate that.
Then give me my dinner time at 5:45. No, I'm not going to go on a rant about this, but I listen, I'm excited. I am still hopeful. We're going to show up really, really early and see if we can get on the ship a little earlier, because the last time we were there, they offered to get us on the ship earlier because we were a small group, and they didn't have much of a line, so they were, even though it wasn't our time yet, they said they let us on. And from what I've read, so that's what my plan is. And my mom is also telling me, because of spring break and everything, she was, so I think I've talked about this on the show many times. We will drive down to my mom, who lives in Ocala, Florida, which is an hour and a half, 2 hours from Port Canaveral. My mom was telling me the other day, because of spring break, that it took one of her friends about 3 hours to get there, because it just took that much longer because of spring break and all the traffic and everything. Now, given that was during Florida schools' spring break, and that's over now, so we should be hopefully okay there. But we're still gonna get there way earlier than our regular time, and see if we can just finagle our way on there. So that's what I'm going to do. I feel confident that I could at least try to talk my way onto it somehow. So
just be polite. That's all you got to do.
Trevor, you know me. I am a very polite human being, so I am. Yeah, I will be very polite, and it'll be all right. We're going to do what we can do.
I understand, you guys have a method to this, but if you have a free spot, could you please get us on there?
Just want to slip a 20 in their palm, just do like a little.
Okay. No, the Tom,
money's not going to solve this problem, Trevor. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, Tom. Okay. Tom.
I can't bribe Disney cast members?
You can't bribe the cast members.
Why not?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Why not, Trevor? Why not?
Why not? Well.
All right, listen, if any listeners out there have ever bribed a cast member, let me know how it went for you.
If anyone out there doesn't think we're joking,
Trevor. Everybody's bribable.
Everyone out there doesn't think we're joking.
Who's joking?
Tom. I can't.
What? That's how you get, you get the good table when you go to dinner. You slip. I
have never.
You never done the slip of the. No?
Never. That's not a thing where I live.
Palm of 20, and you slip it in there. Yeah, come on.
I mean, yeah, sure.
You're making me feel like a criminal here for doing something.
I've never seen. I mean, yeah. So I've seen it on TV. I've never seen somebody actually try and slip money to the hostess at a restaurant or something.
Okay. Listen, I am mostly joking. No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to do that. Yeah, but I listen. I wasn't joking before though. If there were somebody that had the right amount and had the earlier time and wanted to swap, I would pay somebody to do that. No problem whatsoever.
I mean, that's between you and that person. From the cast member standpoint, though, I will say that the best tool you have with a cast member is just to be as polite as possible. Yes, and be, and don't put any expectation of. And I know you know this, Tom. I'm saying this more like rhetorically for anybody else that's wondering about this is when it comes to cast members, if you're nice and you don't have to put expectation on them. Like there's a lot of people that go but I said please, so why aren't you doing the thing? And it's no, just
that's not how it works.
I understand you're busy. If you can help me out, cool. If not, no worries, just figured I'd ask. It doesn't hurt to ask, right? So
yeah, it never hurts to ask. I will be very nice about it. I will be very listen, I know I know how to do these things. I'm going to try my best.
I mean, if they can smuggle you in on the laundry cart or something, like, that's an option too.
I'm not going to do that. Nobody think that.
Just tell them you'll ride up on the luggage thing if that's easier for them. Like, leave it up to them. Let them give you the options, right?
All right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, this went to weird places. Okay.
Yeah, let's get into our rundown.
I want to talk about this email from Jason. So
yes,
I love this for so many reasons, but I think the biggest one is how full circle of a thing that this is, right?
It is. Jason, and we're still talking about cruises, just so everyone.
I'm
brace
sorry,
yourself.
Everybody. I know we've been cruise heavy lately, and if that bothers everybody, I'm sorry, but we do what we can with the cruise thing is coming up because I'm cruising. So yeah, I'm still talking about Vero too. Vero's in there. So
yeah.
Anyway, so Jason emailed us almost 3 years ago to the day, Trevor. 3 years ago. 3 years ago to the day, April 4th, 2023. So almost exactly 3 years ago. And it was an episode we did, episode 215. And Jason said, during episode 215, you shared the news about DCL coming to Singapore. And Trevor was wondering why you were talking about it. Oh, man, you got called out 3 years ago.
I think my statement at the time would have been, I'm not going to Singapore. Why would we talk about this? But
it's a fair thing to say.
Yeah.
But Jason says, me and my family live in Singapore and we're a Disney family. None of your other listeners may have been excited about the news, but that was the best part of the episode for me. Thank you. That's all he said, which was cool by itself. Right. So we get another email, and I've emailed back and forth with Jason a couple times. So this is not, but he just emailed us a couple days ago and said, as with any good trilogy, here's the conclusion to the experience you both set me out on 3 years ago. So he just got back. Him and his family just got back from the Maiden Voyage of the Disney Adventure. So how funny. I just love that this was that, that this came full circle like that. And, it's funny because he mentions, and he sent us a very long email, and Jason, and I really love all the stuff he wrote in there, but I can't read all this on the show. So I'm going to try to just hit some of the moments because it's a lot. Right. And
it is. Yeah. I've read through it as well, and it is a lot, but
I love it.
Listen, I very much love it, but we are going to summarize it for you.
Yeah, for sure. But he mentions the past couple times he's, because you and I have been talking about the adventure and how cool it looked, and he said each time I wanted to shout, "Tom, the ship is as cool as you think it is." And he loves San Francisco, which you pointed out, and I've seen videos of it. It's awesome. I mean, it just looks awesome.
Yeah,
the whole San Francisco Street. I mean, it just looks awesome.
The thing was amazing. He says, I love that he says there's video games themed to be each of the Big Hero 6 characters there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I would love to see that.
It's so cool. And I actually saw a video of the Duffy store. So one of the crazy things about this ship is the first day you're there, if you want to go to any of the merch shops, you have to make a reservation just to go get merch. And which is they don't do on any other the other ships. And when I watched videos of this, I understood why. There were huge lines for merch. Like even with the reservations, the crowds were crazy, and especially the Duffy store, which because we've talked about this before. They're seemingly
Duffy
everyone
Duffy's Duffy. Yeah, Duffy is Duffy overseas. You just got to respect it.
Yeah, but Jason mentions that the Wall-E show was great. Which I like that Wall-E gets a show. Good for Wall-E, because Wall-E's like one of the best Pixar movies ever, and it's but somehow still underrated.
It does get overlooked by a lot of other shows.
It does. Well, because it's kind of a weird movie. Like nobody talks for like an hour.
But that's what makes it good.
That's what makes it great. Yeah, it's just so different than other movies. The Hollywood Spotlight Dining Room. I mentioned that one to you, Trevor, to watch the video of that because. And he mentions here that it was gorgeous, and they had a pianist and a bassist and someone singing and doing songs and talking about the animators table, Trevor, which is actually one that is on the ship that I'm going on, although it might be animators there's two different versions. There's Animator's Table, and I think it's Animator's Palette, and I'm not 100% sure which one is on the fantasy. Someone will tell me, but I forget. But there's a whole thing where you can draw characters, and then they take them and then they animate them and put them on the screens while you're eating, which is, they do this on the other ships. This is not new, but it's a very cool thing. And then, just talking about how much, you really liked everything, and it was, how cool things were, and they got a lot of like Maiden Voyage merch and stuff like that. What's cool about this though is this, he's in Singapore, so this was the first experience he got to have with this, which is really cool.
Yeah, I mean, that I feel like a ship like this being your first Disney experience, I mean, that sets the bar really high. Not to say that the other ships are not equally as impressive, but I mean, this is a great first experience to have for any cruise ship, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, and the other, he also had a couple criticisms too. Now, listen, it's a maiden voyage. You're going to have some things that are not great. I mean, even when we went on the Treasure, when the Treasure was only a couple months old at that point, and when we got on, we think it was like the first or second sailing of like a whole new crew, and we had some issues, right? I am understanding of these things, right? Because it is, everybody's a human being, and it takes time to get used to things, and even just for somebody that's cleaning the staterooms, right? Like, where is everything? Where's all the stuff? To get into like that routine, it takes time, and so that's why a lot of times these first maiden voyages, or the first time that anything opens, it's there's always a little bit of challenges, and a lot of people were talking on the internet that the roller coaster on the ship was not working, and I would be kind of bummed if I went and that wasn't working, but you also have to understand that, again, it's new, and he's understanding here too. He gets, you get it. But the thing I was picking out of this though, and there were a couple shows that had a couple of issues too. But what he mentioned was, the beautiful thing was leadership on board realized they hadn't achieved everything they wanted, and to say sorry, they issued a cabin credit of $100 of onboard credit for not living up to full potential. That is classic Disney stuff to do, and not something that every cruise line is going to do. They're just not. And I talked about this before when we were just down at Disney World for the Christmas party, and we went to breakfast, and breakfast was taking a really long time for us to get a seat. And I didn't even say anything. And the manager came up to us and said, "Hey, whatever drinks you guys want this morning, it's on us." Like, that's the kind of stuff that sets Disney apart, because they proactively will make sure that you're having the best time possible, even if things don't always go right, because they're never going to always go right. They're not. So, but yeah, I just love this whole thing from Jason. And also too, Jason mentioned that that Singapore has put on a firework and drone show every night during that weekend for the ship being there. And he says, "I now know why Tom loves the drone show so much. It was an amazing thing to see."
And Tom still has not seen a Disney drone show. No. So you've got that one up on him, Jason.
Whatever. I'm so bitter about this. But yeah, listen, Jason, thank you for writing this detailed thing. I really wish we could read the whole thing, but you gave us really and I really appreciate all the details, because I like I said, I've watched videos on it, and you only get so much out of the videos, and truthfully, I think I'd love to have you on to actually talk about this. I think that would be a lot of fun. But we just, with my vacation and everything, we're gonna have to plan that out. But thank you for first of all emailing us for the first time 3 years ago, and then for following up with us. Just awesome.
And hey, just sharing, like he says, being able to be on a maiden voyage is a rare opportunity, and he's got that family memory, and appreciate you sharing it with us as well.
Yeah, so, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us. Seriously, so great, and I'm glad your family got to do that and had a good time with it. So hopefully you can do it again sometime soon. So
yeah, exactly.
Anyway, that I just am so tickled by the fact that it was 3 years almost exactly to the day that he first emailed us, and he just was like talking about how much he appreciated us talking about the cruise ship, and then he actually goes on the maiden voyage. Like, it's just cool.
Yeah.
just feels very complete.
That's that's why we just keep talking about stuff, right?
That's right. Because everything, not everything appeals to everybody, but
sometimes you don't know, like, we talk about things like years ago and you have no idea like what it's going to actually unfold into. And it's always cool to see like the end result. Like, I'll say this now is, in the back of my head, I'm trying to not get myself overhyped, but I want to believe that the Monsters Inc. Or Monstropolis, I guess I'm just gonna start calling it Monstropolis because you call it Monsters Inc. Land. It's Monstropolis.
It's Monstropolis.
I want to believe that it's going to be amazing when it opens, and I really want to go and experience it, like, early on if possible. But maybe I'm just saying this now, so in the hopes that in a couple of years that I can be like, we're going to the preview or something like that. So you never know.
I always like being there for the first to the last, right? Like I was.
Yeah, I will say actually, recent experience for me was, me and my brother going to Epic Universe during the preview of it, because we were there like 4 days before it opened.
Yeah.
That's a similar experience. Like, we got to, in a similar, experience to Jason was, things were not functioning at 100%. And we knew that going into it, but, still just the idea of, getting there and, and it wasn't even a matter of being there first. It was just a matter of getting there to experience something as it was unfolding. Right.
Yeah. I mean, listen, that's really cool. I was at the last performance of Illuminations, right, which was also very cool. Because that's one of my favorite shows ever, and I just it just happened to work out that I was going to be there during the last one, and that was a really cool thing. Even though like there was a thunderstorm that rolled through as we were doing it, it was pouring rain and windy, and there were a billion people there, but it's that kind of stuff that's really cool, and you don't forget. Anyway,
all right. I think we're both avoiding talking about this next point because it's the one negative thing on the rundown.
But it's a DVC thing.
Yeah, we have DVC news, and it's not good DVC news, but
it is what it is, right? So one-time use points are going up a little bit, just a little bit. Not a lot, but it's not. It's not great. But I've actually never used one-time use points, Trevor, because I haven't been in a position where I didn't have enough to borrow, where I needed to buy anymore. But but they were previously $20 each per point, right? And which was actually, the rate was $17.77 per point, and then the plus taxes. Now the price of the points is increased to $20 plus the tax on top of it, so they're $22.50 instead of it's not a big increase, but it's there. It's a thing.
But it falls in line with Disney's general increase of point value, I guess is the best way to put it. It's like when you look at when they're selling points, we've all seen it over the years, is that, for new resorts, price per point has been trending upwards. Of course, they would want to keep the single-use points kind of in line with that, because I know we all treat points as an ethereal thing that, it's just my points. What's your problem? They do actually have a monetary value tied to them because they are used for the rental of a hotel room, basically, right? So so I get it. They're adjusting. They're adjusting with costs. I don't want to say inflation. I think it's just they're looking at costs and realizing that they can charge more. Yeah, I mean, that's their prerogative. And like you said, it's not one of these things that you use, or I guess if you're having to use one-time use points on a regular basis, my statement to that would be, why haven't you bought another contract yet?
Yeah, I mean, just
that's kind of the thing, right? Like if you're in that position where you're constantly having to do it, it's probably that you don't have enough points to begin with.
Yeah.
So so like same as you, is like I've never had to use them, but I will say, I'm still in the planning phases of a trip for next year, and it's going to be a bigger trip, and I may be using one-time use points because I'm pretty sure I'm going to need extra points, but we're going to figure that out as we get to it. Like it's, I don't, it may not be something I need to use, but I mean, the fact that the price is going up a little bit, I'll forget about this by this time next year anyway, so it doesn't matter. But still not great to hear that prices are going up on things. But yeah, like we said, it's also not surprising.
Yeah. All right. So one last thing, Trevor, before we do our ad here. So I know you're not into Star Wars as much anymore, but May 4th is coming up.
I'll still talk about it. I'm not watching the movies. I'll still talk about Star Wars.
Yeah, we're about 5 weeks away from May 4th, and for those that don't know, and I feel like most do, May 4th is a fun made up holiday.
May the 4th be with you. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. And it's become like Star Wars Day, essentially, right? I mean, it's really just Star Wars Day.
Yeah.
And it's funny to me that this has kind of been like I don't know. It's like it's become a much bigger thing over the years, to the point where like Disney's acknowledging it with merch.
Literally this merch says May the 4th, 2026.
Yeah. And I don't remember them doing that in the past. I remember them having like special merch, but not specifically May the 4th be with you 2026, Yeah.
I'll say this merch, I like the design of it. I like the color palettes and everything. Having May the 4th be with you 2026 slapped on it is hurting it, in my opinion.
It's funny though, because I know what they're doing. Like I understand.
I would want it without that.
Well, are you okay with it being May the 4th be with you and not having the year, or you don't want that at all?
I don't think it needs it. Honestly, I think they could have just put it out so the whole theme around it this year is that they're doing Mandalorian and Grogu theme. So this merch all has, the Mandalorian and Grogu on it everywhere, and Ahsoka is on there as well, which I like Ahsoka. Ahsoka's a very cool character, and so I like all that. I like the way that they put it out, but then like I said, I feel like they're deliberately trying to slap this on as this was released exclusively for May the 4th
in 2026.
But I feel like they could have been a little more subtle with it.
I get you.
Even if I guess if they still want to put that on there, they could have done it in a way that, is not, it's a banner over the middle of the artwork now.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
I get that. I'm the person that if like I wear a shirt that's referencing a movie or a TV show that I like, I don't want the name of the movie or TV show to be on that shirt anywhere. You know what I mean? Like I want you to just get the reference that it's on my shirt. And if you don't get it, you don't get it. That's your problem. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't need that thrown in my face. I get what you're saying though. I do like the design. I will mention though too, they've got a bag, they've got a hat. It looks like they got a hoodie, and a shirt, of course. This is just the first, and a pin. There's a pin, an Ahsoka pin, right? And so this is just the first release. They're going to be doing them. See, it looks like weekly until May 1st, and then so the next one's on April 10th is going to be themed to Endor. Okay. And then Stormtroopers after that. Yeah, it's going to be Ewoks. Of course, it's going to be Ewoks, right?
So, okay, I'm going to be that person for a minute.
Oh boy, here we go.
Do they know that the Ewoks are on the third moon of Endor and not Endor itself? I know they like saying Endor, but the Ewoks are not actually on Endor.
On Endor, they're on the moon of. I don't know. It's a good question.
I mean, okay, sorry.
I would hope that they would know.
Yeah.
You'd like
okay, so Endor is first. Cool. I'm there for that. Stormtroopers.
You're not into the Stormtroopers. I feel like Stormtroopers are very popular, even though they're.
I'm not a dark side guy. I'm not like Stormtroopers are cool, but for like the Imperial Army / whatever. Like, the Stormtroopers I think are the most appealing side of that to me, but. I'm not a dark side guy. Like I'm very much on the rebel side. So
fair enough.
Yeah.
Then the next one just says jerseys, which I'm assuming is just going to mean like spirit jerseys or something.
I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird that we're going from theme in that of like character theme to like, but whatever.
Like they could have said like purses or shoes or something, and it would have been as equally like confusing. Yeah.
It's just odd. And then May 1st, we got pod racing, which
that is very interesting. Yeah. Let's go back to the first trilogy.
Yeah.
Or not like the 1, 2, and 3. I haven't seen anything about pod racing in a minute.
Yeah.
For sure. And I'm not against it. I very much like the pod racing scene in the first one was for me a highlight of it, and to the point where they released a pod racing video game and I played it and I thought it was great. And I feel like pod racing could have been a thing in and of itself within the Disney or the Star Wars universe that they just never capitalized on. So it's interesting that they're giving it a nod right now. And I'm wondering what kind of stuff they're going to have from a pod racing standpoint.
I don't know.
I'm betting right now there's going to be a pin with either Sebulba or what was the guy who owned Anakin when he was a slave? Groot.
You're right. As casual Star Wars fan, I remember almost nothing.
So Sebulba was the main antagonist. He was the one that Anakin was racing against, and I liked him as like he was a good antagonist. I felt for that. But hold on, I need to look this up.
While you're doing that, why don't
Watto? That's who it is. Watto. Okay, sorry, I got it. All right, okay, I'm good. We can move on.
Well, why don't we go ahead and do our ad? Yeah. Unless there's anything else you want to say about this. Nope. Well, obviously we'll revisit this when the other ones come out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So okay, let's go ahead and do our ad. And then we'll do some. I got a new segment, Trevor, that I came up with in the delirium of sleeplessness last night.
Yeah, you messaged me this last night, and I'm on board for it, but I'm curious how this is going to play out.
The sponsor of this episode is DVC Resale Market. DVC Resale Market, a keyholder vacation company, is the leader in the DVC resale industry with 13 former Disney Vacation Club guides and 3 former Disney Vacation Club quality assurance managers. If you're thinking of buying DVC, browse the largest selection of DVC resale listings anywhere with DVC experts on hand 7 days a week to answer your questions. If you're thinking of selling, turn to the friendly professionals at DVC Resale Market, where over 98% of listings sell within 30 days. In 2025, DVC Resale Market helped over 4,400 families join or add on to their memberships. Go to dvcresalemarket.com/welcome home or call 1-844-DVC-PROS. That's 1-844-382-7767. And when you speak to them, be sure to let them know that Welcome Home sent you. By the way, one of the things I forgot to mention, Trevor, in the top of the show was that obviously I am going to be gone next week. And so during that time, we will be airing our Dapper Danielle interview where we talked about her and her brother's book about Epcot. So instead of the regular episode next week, you're going to get that. So, keep an eye out for that and, definitely check that one out because we did have a lot of fun with that interview. So I meant to say that at the top of the show and forgot.
well, we'll just mention it here and mention it again at the end of the show. So
yeah, there you go. Yeah. All right. So Disney has announced a little bit of details here about D23 this year, which listen, D23 is really become this really, it's a huge event at this point. And this will be from August 14th, August 16th. But there's a lot of things that they're going to do during this, as they always do. They have, some really interesting events that they're doing. They have the Disney Entertainment Showcase, the Disney Experiences Showcase, and the Disney Legends Awards ceremony. And also they're doing the return of the fan favorite D23 Mousecade, which is which is a Disney costume contest. Now
it's a cosplay contest, yeah.
Because D23 is almost like a Disney Comic-Con almost in some ways, it's got like that kind of thing to it, except you get a lot more, it's just Disney stuff and Disney's presenting things, but also, they're going to have a Walt Disney Imagineering Pavilion with showcasing some of the stuff that's coming up, which is always an interesting thing. And there's a bunch of other things that they're working through here. And by the way, we have some new Disney legends too, Trevor, that were announced. And I think this is a pretty solid list. I have minor quibbles with a few here and there.
Okay. I want to know with who, because I don't disagree with.
I have one quibble.
Really?
One. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
all right. Well, okay. You can't leave it at that.
Okay. Well, so here's the honoree list for 2026. It's Susan Egan, Dwayne Johnson, Anne Hathaway, Alan Tudyk, which I think I love that Alan Tudyk. I'm a huge Alan Tudyk fan. I love the fact that he's getting this. Jonas Brothers, Lin-Manuel Miranda, Eric Goldberg, which if you don't know who Eric Goldberg is, he's been like one of the biggest, like he's one of the main animators at Disney Animation. He's been there a long time.
He animated Genie. That's as much as you need to know.
Yes. He's very well known for creating Genie in Aladdin. So Jerry Bruckheimer, Chris Berman, Kim Irvine, which good for Kim Irvine too. She definitely, I think, deserves that. Again, if you don't know who that is, Imagineer, has worked there since she was young. Her mother is Madame Leota, so there's that. And then of course Bob Iger, which again makes sense. Mm-hmm. My only problem is Dwayne Johnson. I don't have a problem with The Rock or Dwayne Johnson, but I don't know, like for what? Moana? And I guess the Jungle Cruise movie.
Moana, Jungle Cruise.
What else we got?
He was in Zootopia too.
Oh yeah. Which, by the way, I didn't even talk about this. Trevor.
Yeah, he had a cameo in there. Yeah.
I got my daughter to watch it.
Oh, we actually watched it last night too. So
I loved it. I don't know how you. I thought
it was great. Yeah, I absolutely loved it.
I also loved the Bob Iger thing that they did in there, where they had Bob Tiger and he's doing the weather. And for those that don't know, Bob Iger started at ABC as a weatherman. That's what he did. And so for them to kind of harken back to that, I thought that was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so I loved it. I thought it was great. My daughter liked it.
Yeah. So, sorry, back to the Disney Legends. Sorry, I'm just surprised that
I don't know.
Dwayne Johnson has been involved with multiple Disney projects at this point. I don't see why you wouldn't put him in the list with the rest of these people.
I think he got overexposed for me, and he just kind of rubs me the wrong way. Now that being said, I did watch the trailer for the live action Moana, and I know a lot of the internet is talking about his wig or whatever. I think it looks fine. I don't know what people expect. I think people just want to find a thing to make fun of, whatever. But
that is exactly it.
Yeah. But I don't know what people expect, right? Like you think it's going to look exactly like the animated. It's just not possible. Like I think they made it look as accurate as they could. That's neither here nor there. But I thought the trailer looks pretty good. I mean, given it's a live action and there just looks like they're doing pretty much the exact story, but it looks like it's going to be fun. The girl he chose to be Moana is good, and seeing The Rock real life as Maui is kind of cool. I kind of liked it. But anyway, I don't know. I think he just got overexposed for me. Maybe it's all the Fast and Furious movies. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. If you look at his career outside of Disney, and yes, his former WWE stuff and all that, I see where I get the impression of, hey, he's trying too hard and whatever. And I see how that can rub people the wrong way. I try to decouple the, achievements of what they've done in Disney from their, you can enjoy the art of what they do and you don't have to be the artist necessarily.
I get
because like for all of these people on this list, it's there are projects that they've been involved in at various points that's it wasn't for me. It's not that it's not that I'm putting in a bucket of I like this and I hate this, but it's they've done things at various points that I have no care for. Anne Hathaway's movies, it's I know her involvement in Disney movies and stuff like that. I don't care for them, but I respect the fact that she's getting acknowledged for this, right? So, I mean, it's
if you had to pick like a tops in this list besides Iger, I'll just keep Iger out of that because Iger deserves that, obviously, and it was not shocking to me. But like, and I know you're not a sports guy, but Chris Berman is, legendary sports guy, right? Okay, cool. I love Alan Tudyk. I think Alan Tudyk's great, but like
Alan Tudyk is great. Yeah,
he's amazing, and he's done a lot of Disney stuff. Even if you probably haven't even realized how much Disney stuff he's actually in, because I mean, like he was BB-8. I mean, he like literally was doing I mean, he's not really, but apparently, but he got credited with the creation of like the little beeps of BB-8, which is absurd, but it is what it is. But he also did, obviously voices in Frozen, and he was in oh gosh, what was that one Star Wars movie I really, really liked that was fairly recent? Oh my gosh.
Not or he was K2SO.
And why can't I think of the name of that one?
It's not it's Rogue One.
Rogue One. I loved Rogue One. I thought Rogue One. I kept
saying Rebels in my head, and I'm like, no, Rebels is the show. Rogue One.
He's great in that one. And also, I'm just a little biased too, because I was always a big Firefly fan, and he was great in Firefly. So that's all of those things, right? And I mean, but Lin-Manuel Miranda too. I mean, is like, dude's legendary at this point. You know what I mean?
But really, from a Disney standpoint, like Encanto is his big crowning jewel at this point.
Moana too, though. Moana too.
Yeah. Well, sorry, you're saying the sequel to Moana was...
No, he did all the music in the first Moana.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry, I didn't... Right. Yeah. I forgot about that. But I feel like Encanto still sits above that from like... Or when I look at Lin-Manuel Miranda, I'm like, oh, Encanto stuff. Like that was his biggest thing. But yeah, I guess you're right. It's, at the end of the day, all of these people have various things that they've been involved in. You don't have to know all the things they've been involved in. And I know you could say like, yeah, I don't like Dwayne Johnson because of all these other things, but I feel you can't ignore, the stuff that he's done in Disney has been good. Yeah. Like, you can hate on Moana all you want.
No, I don't hate on Moana. I think Moana's great. I love Moana.
And same with the Jungle Cruise. Is I know the Jungle Cruise. I did like the Jungle Cruise as well. Like
I thought it was fun.
There's nothing, and the problem is I think everyone looks at it as like, oh well, you have to have like the biggest thing ever, and it's like, I mean, Moana was huge anyway. Yeah, but it's like, he can be involved in other projects and they all don't have to like be in the top 5. Like it's, I don't know.
Who's an interesting omission from the Disney legends is Robert Lopez and his wife for writing all the songs in Frozen. Cause like, I mean, first of all, he's the only double EGOT that exists. Right. So he's just legendary based on that. But also, like, the music from both of those movies was insanely huge. I mean, maybe they just haven't done it yet. But I mean, back in 22, they did the whole cast of, literally, like the whole voice cast of Frozen. It became Disney legends.
Yeah.
Just odd. That's all.
Yeah,
I'm not saying there's any particular reason. I don't know. Yeah, it's just kind of weird to me. That's all. I mean,
you can ask Josh what's up with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna call Josh and be like, Josh, what's up, man?
so anyway, we talked about the Disney legends here for a bit.
Too long. New segment.
Now, I guess so. Other things that are going on at D23.
Oh yeah, not new segment yet. Okay, we'll wait.
Well, okay.
So, read the other things.
Let me find it now. I've been so busy. Yeah. Okay. So it looks like they have a couple of exhibitions going on. So there's, capturing live, creating character, the art of live action, featuring rare photography, costume pieces, artwork, and interactive elements. That seems very interesting to me. I'm looking through this and I don't see a lot of other stuff that's standing out to me as like, it seems like the general like stuff you see on the floor of a convention, right?
Yeah.
So, okay.
All right. Well, that brings me to the new segment, Trevor.
Yeah. So what are you thinking, Tom?
All right. So I'm calling this segment Nostradismus.
Mm-hmm.
If for those that don't know who Nostradamus is, famous for making predictions in the future. So this is Nostradismus because Trevor and I are going to make predictions about what is going to be announced, wild, bold predictions about what is going to be announced at D23. Now, I don't know what your list looks like, Trevor, but I have some crazy ones on here, right? And that's what I'm looking for here. This is different than reckless speculation because we're making predictions. Reckless speculation is just speculating. It's out in the air. I'm saying this is going to be announced at D23. And I have no knowledge of any of these things. These are just things that I am predicting and putting out there based on what I think and what I feel. And what we will do, Trevor, is after D23, 5 months from now, we will revisit this and talk about where we were right and where we were wrong.
You're gonna make me actually commit to this now. Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna make you commit to it. Yeah. Listen, but here's the thing. Here's the fun thing about Nostradismus, Trevor. You don't have to be right. It's okay to be wrong. We're making bold predictions. To me, it's better if one of my crazy predictions actually turns out to be true than if none of them are true. Right? Like if all of them are true. If all of them are true, I just want one. Give me one. I got crazy ones in here, Trevor.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll go first so I can get it. I have some ideas in my head, but I want to see how off the mark I might be with this.
All right. I'm gonna start off, Trevor, with I believe that Disney will announce a permanent Bluey land at one of the parks in Disney World.
Okay.
A permanent Bluey land, which will maybe not a land completely, at least a attraction, a real attraction.
Not the show that's currently
not a show,
in,
no.
but an attraction of Bluey.
I said this in the Discord because I believe this. Disney's doing the playbook they did with Frozen. Okay. If you remember early after Frozen, now given we're Bluey's a little mature at this point, right? So we're not getting new Bluey until next year, but early on after Frozen, they didn't want to necessarily commit to Frozen, right? Like they kind of thought it would be a thing, but weren't sure still. And so they had like a parade. They did like the whole summer thing. They did a whole summer thing where they had like a parade and they had like the snow in the one thing at Hollywood Studios. And they did a whole bunch of just like kind of temporary-ish things, right? Which is what they're doing right now with Bluey, right? We have the Bluey show, and look what happened at Disneyland, right? I mean, I'm sure you saw
the line going back to the hub.
It like far exceeded their expectations.
So you like to understand that how crazy that line was. The theater where it sat was right on the edge of Toontown, which is at the far back section of Fantasyland. So not in the middle of Fantasyland. It was in the back of Fantasyland, and the line went back to the hub.
Yeah,
that's
Disney's not going to ignore
the castle to the hub kind of thing. Like that's crazy. Yeah,
I honestly believe if Disney hasn't tried already, that they are going to buy Bluey wholesale. That they're just going to buy Bluey. It's supposedly worth a couple $1 billion at this point, which sounds crazy, but I would bet they buy Bluey.
That assuming that the
creator,
the owner, assuming that they agree to it, that's another matter.
If I were Josh tomorrow, I would call him up and be like, because I know he wants to do adult animation. I'd be like, listen, I got this. I got Fox, I not Fox, but I have like all these cartoon things that we have on all these different networks.
Projects that we can get.
We have FX. We've got, we've got several animation studios. You tell me what adult show you want to watch, and we'll greenlight that. And you sell me Bluey, and we'll keep making Bluey without you. And listen, I don't want them to make more Bluey without the creator because he is clearly the secret sauce to this. But I just think Disney can't ignore this. They did a show which looks fun and great, but you see how popular it is. That's land popular, right? Like you can't keep having that show be #1 streaming show in the entire world and not do something with it.
It can fund a land the same way that Cars Land became a land. Yeah.
and I don't remember, Trevor, if I said this on the show or I said this to my wife, and I said it in the Discord, and I believe this to be true. You could, if you really wanted to, put this at the Imagination Pavilion in Epcot, because Bluey is all about imagination. There's nothing that fits better into that. But that being said, I don't want them to replace Figment with something Bluey, and I also don't think Bluey fits into Epcot as a whole. So to me, this goes Hollywood Studios. That where it feels where it belongs. But I don't know. It could also go Animal Kingdom. You could do an Animal Kingdom thing. Fine.
I don't see that happening in Animal Kingdom just because of what's already going on in Animal Kingdom.
I agree with you. I mean, and listen, there's a lot going on in Hollywood Studios too. I just don't think Disney can continue to ignore this and do temporary things like these shows. I just don't think they can. The level of crowds that you're bringing in with Bluey is not. You need to do something more. You can't just do this. I also, I believe, I want to say it was Becky or someone else in the Discord, and I apologize for not giving credit, but mentioned the Bluey character dining experience. That would be insanely popular if they did that. Like it'd be impossible to get a reservation for that. Absolutely impossible. Right?
You're not wrong. I'm not. Yeah. Yeah, I'm on board with what you're saying.
I just think that they can't ignore it, Trevor. They can't ignore it. They have to do something, and I feel like they will announce something.
Okay, fair. Okay, I'm gonna throw one out there in the same vein of a potential new land, and I'm saying this actually because of the fact that I watched Zootopia 2 last night.
Ooh.
I feel, because there is a Zootopia attraction overseas at this point.
There is, yeah.
I would like them to announce, I would hope that they would announce something in North America, either an attraction or, I mean, I'll be honest. Okay, this is Crazy Town version of this.
No, that's what we're doing here, though. This is crazy. These are bold predictions.
This is an opinion. I'm not saying Disney would ever announce this, but my take on Zootopia is it has the potential to be a land or be actually multiple lands.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Which would actually imply its own park. Like looking at Zootopia, it has enough variance to it, and it had like the different towns or sections of it could facilitate its own park. And then, watching the movie, the way that they do the tube systems and everything, like it has that potential to, those are your rides, right? Like, the transportation around Zootopia is, the rides that you would offer in a Zootopia land. The only problem I see is that, from an IP standpoint, I don't know that it's strong enough, like Bluey, that it resonates well enough, but I don't know that it needs to, honestly. Like, I feel like it could grow on its own. The crazy, like sky high version of this would be a land or multiple, or like a very large land where you have the multiple areas in it or something to that effect. A whole park on its own would be insane, but I would like to see them announce a Zootopia attraction.
Not the one that's in the Tree of Life. And
let me refine that. Not an attraction, but a ride. An actual, like I would like them to announce like the one from the one that's, I think it's in Singapore.
It's in Shanghai. It's in Shanghai.
Sorry. Yeah, it's in Shanghai.
I actually just saw an article the other day that's the highest rated attraction at Shanghai, which is exactly considering some of the stuff they have there.
Yeah. So I would hope that they announce some version of that coming stateside. What would actually be funny, again, this is crossing over into speculation a little bit. They talked about resetting on the Avatar land in California because it would be funny if they suddenly went, "Oops, sorry, not Avatar. It's actually Zootopia now."
I don't know. Maybe
I would love that. I'll just say that right now. So that's my. I feel like a Zootopia ride of some sort.
All right,
would be announced.
I had that on my list as well as Zootopia Land because they did a while ago share some concept art when they were doing that blue sky thing where I think that's when it was, where they had some like a Zootopia type land at Animal Kingdom. I could see it. I wouldn't be shocked because the second movie did great. And to your point, Trevor, the thing that stands out about those movies is the world building they've done, where there are so many stories you can tell because they have all these different biomes and different things going on in each of them.
Oh yeah.
It's endless. They could do these forever if they really wanted to. Yeah, that's a good one. I like it. All right. All right. So now I'm gonna hop over to Epcot. I'm gonna go to Epcot here.
Mm-hmm.
Now that the dust is settled at Epcot, Trevor, the dust is settled. I think we're finally, after 6 years, gonna get our Spaceship Earth reimagining.
Really?
Because, yeah, you remember they announced it, they were going to do it, and then COVID happened. I think it's finally going to happen because now all the dust is settled at Hollywood Studios, right? Not Hollywood Studios, at Epcot. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing going on really at Epcot right now, construction wise, right? Like they're not building anything, right? Everything's pretty much done, right? We got Guardians, we got the new test track, we got all that other stuff. Time for more at Epcot. So Spaceship Earth refurb, I think, is happening. Right? Again, this is based on nothing other than just me guessing and maybe hoping. And I think Figment Ride, Trevor, we're finally going to get some idea on what they're going to do with Figment.
You think that they'll announce Figment at this D23?
Sure.
Okay. No,
do I really believe that? No. But I mean,
fair. I'm, fair prediction. My only criticism of that is that I feel like it's too early after Josh taking the reins to see anything. I agree with you. I want to see them announce something with Figment. I don't think it's this D23 is the only thing.
Okay. That's fair.
But fair. But again, we're making predictions. I have my own prediction about Epcot.
Oh, okay. What?
I think we're finally going to see a repurposing of the Wonders of Life Pavilion.
Oh,
because that's another one that was on the table, the same as the Spaceship Earth redo and all that.
It was.
But the thing about Wonders of Life is it is the same as, like how the Odyssey was for the longest time, a bit of a sore thumb before they kind of repurposed it into like a festival area. Yeah. It's just sitting there. Like you walk by and it's like, what is, there's a big empty space there, right?
Why is there a giant golden dome over there that's, you can't get to? Yeah,
exactly. I hate to say this. I don't know that they'll keep the dome in its current state.
Ooh, interesting.
So this is where it gets a little crazy, is that I wouldn't be surprised if it's kind of how they redid, what was it called? Energy.
Universe Energy.
Universe. Thank you.
Ellen's Energy Adventure. Yeah.
Universe Universe of Energy. They redid the entire building for Universe of Energy for Guardians, right?
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're looking at Wonders of Life and take it as an opportunity to redo that building as well. I don't know if it would be a full demolish.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're, again, to your point of, talking about like, hey, they're done with other things at Epcot. Epcot's kind of settled down. It's in a stable place. They're going to want to start honestly, the last attraction in Epcot was, actually, wait, was it Guardians? I forget now. I guess
technically a new test track, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, technically the redo of test track, but I don't count that because it's
existing. Yeah,
it wasn't a full like new thing. It was a overlay redo, right?
Yeah.
I think it would be time for them to say, yeah, we have a space here that we can do something with. That's my thought on Epcot, is that I think Wonders of Life, some sort of attraction in the Wonders of Life Pavilion.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. I got some more here. I got some more crazy ones. Mm-hmm. All right. These are actually, I have the crazier, like really top of wish list ones and the obvious ones, Trevor. Which one you want me to go with? Crazy? Because I think crazy.
Let's hear your crazy first. Yeah.
All right. Crazy. We'll go crazy. Monsters Inc. laugh floor will move to the new Monsters Inc. land, and Tomorrowland will go through an entire reimagining. How about that?
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Listen, they're opening Monstropolis. Why wouldn't you move the laugh floor over there? Now you got this big theater over there. Do something with that. We still have an empty spot where Stitch was. Once you have both of those things, that to me says reimagining time, right?
And then that whole section of Tomorrowland gets walled off for 3 years.
Correct. Tomorrow wall. I don't know, whatever this thing
the wall of tomorrow.
The walls of tomorrow. No. All right, so that's a crazy one.
So okay. I in that similar vein, I was actually expecting them to give a release or an opening time frame for Monstropolis at this D23.
I think that we will get a lot of updates on current projects, right? So like Villains Land, Cars Land, Monstropolis. I think we're going to get a lot of that.
I specifically am looking for the Monstropolis
of course.
update. Yeah.
Okay. I've got so less controversial ones, right? Mm-hmm. New Disney cruise ship information. So I think we find out more about the Believe and maybe what even the next ship is going to be.
Okay.
I'm also going to do a couple DVC ones here, Trevor. I'm going to say the next DVC hotel is going to be announced at D23 this year. I don't know what it's going to be.
You think even you don't think they're going to focus on Lakeshore Lodge?
It's almost done though.
Right, but then when they
move on to the next thing.
Yeah. Okay. I guess you're not wrong. I guess they wouldn't reserve D23 for saying, "Hey, Lakeshore Lodge is opening in October" or something like that.
I mean, they probably will, but they'll also. I think they're also going to
be a footnote. Yeah.
Yeah. I also think another lounge, Trevor. I think the lounges have been tremendously popular for DVC members. I think they announced another lounge at one of the other two parks that doesn't have one. Just going to throw it out there. New lounge.
Okay. So where are the lounge? Okay, there's the Magic Kingdom Lounge and Epcot. Right.
Hollywood Studios and
where's for some reason I was like, is there a lounge in Hollywood Studios? And I was like panicking for a second. I was like, yeah, you're right. There isn't one there yet. Yeah. I forgot that.
So I've got those. Would you have more? I don't want to.
Okay. So back to the DVC hotels. If they were to announce a next one, I think it'll be my prediction is it'll be very close to Epcot, whatever the next one is. I think they will, it won't be, or I mean, like they have stuff over by Riviera. I don't want to say it'll be, we've talked in the past about the one that like has like,
it's like right in Epcot.
Connected to Epcot, but I feel like there'll be something in very close proximity to Epcot.
Okay. I'm with it. I like it. In that same vein, Trevor, one of my other predictions, more Skyliner. Announcements of extension of the Skyliner.
I forgot about them extending the Skyliner. I got so used to just it being the way that it is.
Yeah.
We've talked about this and you're right.
I'm saying more Skyliner and it's going to Animal Kingdom. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah, that's one prediction there. Another one. How about Trevor? How about a Star Wars Land expansion? They got more movies. We haven't had a movie in a while. They got more movies coming out. Now, given there's a lot going on in Hollywood Studios right now, they got a whole new land building.
I think because of the fact that Monstropolis is being built right next to Star Wars Land, see that
throwing it out there.
Yeah. So I'm not trying to pick apart these things that you're saying. I'm trying to wrestle with the logistics of them. It's all it is.
No, there's no. You don't have to be realistic here. It's
you're right. Yeah,
this is all craziness. It's all made up.
All right. I think. Okay, let's go back to Magic Kingdom for a minute.
Okay.
We said they're going to announce stuff for like Villains Land and Piston Peak and all that. I think Villains Land. I want to say that whatever coaster they announce is going to be something similar to the current Fast and Furious coaster that's opening up in Universal.
You're going like it's like a real roller coaster. Not you're ignoring those recent reports.
I'm thinking it's going to be like, I know we talked about them like toning stuff down and making it more family friendly. I think the coaster will be in the same vein as Guardians or the new Fast and Furious coaster. Okay. I don't think they're going to fully take their foot off the gas on it, but I think my prediction is they're going to actually announce details of the coaster, and it's going to be better than what we were expecting.
Okay. I love it. I like that. Okay. All right. So I've got 2 more things on my list, Trevor. 2 more. One of them I'm going to say right now, and I'm going to, in post, I'm going to add an echo to this. Drone show. It's finally, there's going to be a drone show at Magic Kingdom. I'm saying it now. Actually,
agreed.
It doesn't even have to be Magic Kingdom. I think Epcot's more likely to me, but Magic Kingdom.
I think no. You're wrong, Tom.
You think
you're
Magic
absolutely
Kingdom?
wrong? No, you're completely off. It's going to be Hollywood Studios.
Okay, all right.
There will be a Hollywood Studios drone show.
Boom, love it. Drone show. Echo forever. All right, I got my craziest one on here, Trevor. This is the one that's definitely not going to happen, but I'm going to say it anyway. Disney gets the rights back to Marvel from Universal and announces a Marvel park. Fifth Gate.
An actual Marvel park in Florida.
Park in Florida. Listen, this isn't completely crazy because there's been signs that Universal is, maybe looking to move away from the Marvel characters, right? Like there's been...
Islands of Adventure needs some love, and part of it is honestly that whole area needs an overhaul. I agree.
There's been talk about that they've been behind the scenes designing some rides to replace the Marvel rides. And to me, if they're going to they're not just going to abandon that. Disney's going to get it back. I think they will. Honestly, it's too valuable for them not to. Yeah. And then what are they going to do? And again, it's so valuable. Then what are they going to do with that? They're going to make a park. I don't know if they make a fifth gate. I mean, maybe they just do a land. Okay. But I think they're going to get it back. And I think there will be Marvel at Disney World in the future.
But okay. But let's touch on that for a second. We keep saying I don't see a fifth gate. They're going to do another land. Where are they doing these lands?
I don't know, Trevor.
This is exactly it. When you look at the current design of Epcot, when you look at Magic Kingdom, when you look at Hollywood Studios, they're all in a state right now where there's infrastructure and stuff built around them. And not to say that, Disney can redo roads, they can, reroute and do all that stuff to expand existing parks. But it does eventually hit a point where they can only expand so far, and they don't want to get themselves into a position where they're doing here, we got you an extra 50 feet and it's like the most sandwiched in thing ever. Right. Yeah.
I get
so there will eventually come a point. And again, I don't think it's this D23, but a fifth gate, and the hard part is that if you make a fifth gate, every gate has a theme to it, right? Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom all have distinct themes to them. And I guess the only question is what are you theming a fifth gate off of that's not exclusively one IP? Because you could say, well, they would make a Marvel fifth gate, or they would make a Zootopia fifth gate, or they would make a, whatever, right? Or Star Wars. But it's the problem is that all of the existing parks, they're designed to be ecosystems of multiple IPs, and they don't want to paint themselves in a corner with one IP. So I don't see them getting back Marvel as a catalyst.
Isn't Marvel though a bunch of IP under one greater IP?
It is, but it's actually Marvel Universe is that it's the same as Star Wars, but it's a multiverse thing. It's its own. there's a whole thing with multiple universes. And I mean, you know that from watching Loki and stuff like that. But the thing is that it can't be just one thing.
Yeah.
Right. Like the same way that, the Marvel area in Islands of Adventure, if the entire park was themed like that, it would not Islands of Adventure would have closed years ago if it was just that. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying about, them adding a land, but I think, I mean, and maybe, okay, then fine. Let's end on this thought. I'm going to throw out the fifth gate idea, but it's not going to be what you think. It's not going to be based around an IP. It'll be based on a theme or based on, I'm trying to think what Disney
Heroes one or something like that. They're heroes and villains. Villains already. So
yeah, it would have to be something that is in the Disney ecosystem that doesn't have enough representation at the moment, or that's something that, they could put all of other IPs in, or a bunch of IPs into. I don't know that like heroes or villains or anything is enough. Maybe it's just, they just call it, they just make Magic Kingdom 2.0 and, here they're like, they don't have to necessarily put it to a theme. Like, because really Magic Kingdom is not like the whole premise of Magic Kingdom is, this is a magical place. Well, what's in this magical place? Whatever you want. Like,
you want there to be. Yeah.
Right. So like they don't have to be hard and fast with it.
True.
I think, if they're hitting a critical mass of stuff that they can't shove into other parks, I could see Disney starting to look at a fifth gate, and maybe it wouldn't be like fifth gate's coming next year, brace yourselves. But I think this is D23, there could be the start or the like preliminary announcement of, we're looking at this.
Yeah.
That's my
take.
It. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's been the first. We've done predictions before, but I never had a name for it. And
now I have to go back and remember this stuff in 6 months and go,
I wrote it all down. Wrong. I wrote it all down.
I know you did, but
these are all. Listen, these are bold takes. We both believe that most of these are not going to happen, but they might.
I am hopefully skeptical.
I like it. I appreciate that. So let's move on to a thing that is real, which is Buzz Lightyear is real.
Buzz Lightyear is real.
Yeah,
it's real in my heart.
After it's it hasn't been that long of a refurb. It's been closed for a little while, but we're getting very upgraded, Buzz Lightyear and new ride vehicles for the first time since the 70s, which is great news. But, they've been doing cast member previews, Trevor. And one of the things, you and I have been speculating on is how the scoring is going to work, because, there was a whole cottage industry of people on YouTube telling you how to get to Galactic Hero, right? Like, there was video after video of that. And I had a feeling this was going to change, and it has. What I'm glad about, though, a couple things, Trevor. I don't know if you watched any videos on this, but I love that there's a digital screen in front of you that has your score on it, and it also shows you where you are in progressing towards Galactic Hero. Yeah, I love that. Which is great, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely, it's much more meaningful to the statement of trying to get Galactic Hero. Like, it gives you it gives you that gauge.
Yeah. What I think, good.
I was going to say, and the next thing about that is that, because you sent this link, is that sorry, it's funny they talk about the updated scoring ranks and scoring for Galactic Heroes. It actually has not changed that much.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's close to the same. Yeah.
It's not the same. It's actually changed by 1 point.
It has changed by 1 point. Yeah. Because they were using, a digital clock, score thing from like the 80s, you could only hit 6 numbers, right? Or so you could only hit 9999999. Now though, you can go over 9999999 because it's a screen. So there's no limit to the amount of characters you can have there. I mean, there is, but you know what I mean? You can go well over 1 million now if you really want to. You couldn't do that before because you were just limited on the space. The technology was limited, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense.
So yeah, the only thing that's actually changed from the scoring standpoint is that Cosmic Commando is 600,001 to 99998 was the old scoring. They
changed the names a little bit too, by the way. They changed it.
I don't think they did. I'm just looking at the
bottom level was called Star Cadet. Now it's Star Flyer. It looks like.
Oh, Star Flyer. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you're right.
And then the second one is Solar Navigator
instead of Space Scout. Yeah,
and then Astro Aviator instead of Ranger First Class. But then Planetary Pilot is the same. Space Ace is the same. Cosmic Commando, Galactic Hero. So they just changed the bottom tiers, basically.
Yeah, I guess I didn't notice that because I'm not playing for the bottom tiers.
No, we're not playing. No.
We're not interested in the bottom tiers.
Planetary Pilot and above, at least,
yes,
at the lowest there.
Yeah, but it's funny because that like literally that they changed that one point that technically you could get 99999 and you're still under Cosmic Commando. It's not until you break 1 million that you get Galactic Hero. Yep. But then that brings a whole other from a gaming standpoint, that brings in a whole other mess of, yes, 1 million points plus is Galactic Hero, but how far are you pushing it?
Oh yeah.
Right? Like you're going to have people that are pushing for like, I got to 2 million or I got or figuring out like what the actual upper limits are of the ride.
Yep.
So I like it. I think that's fun.
Something they did with Trevor, with the targets, I think was really smart. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there's these targets, because this is new technology and not, old technology,
20-plus-year-old technology. Yeah.
So now there's 3 different types of targets, right? So the standard target, which is apparently worth 95 points. Then there's more points are rewarded when some of the targets will like pulse lights on them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are worth more points. And then some will do there's like a third state where it multiple targets in one area will do like a flash multicolor thing for a short amount of time, and that gives a ton more points. So like that's the highest point value, is the flashy multicolor. The thing is, it seems like this stuff happens randomly and it happens at all the targets. So there's no more like you hit this target and you're going to get Galactic Hero. It's
not the hitting the back of the robot's hand guarantees you a bunch of points. It's you have to be looking around and so I know you say it's random. I'm not convinced that it's random. I think there's going to be a pattern to figure out, and kind of figuring out where you are in the pattern will be how you optimize hitting those flashing targets.
But this is still this is way better than the way it was before, because now
absolutely
this makes the ride more re-rideable, because it's if you know the right targets hit every time, it's like, okay, whatever, I know the right targets hit. Instead, now this is like the skill is different here, and I think this makes it more fun, and I think it makes it more like the re-rideability is much higher now, because you can go on it a bunch of different times and score a bunch of different things depending on what targets you're hitting, what states they're in, and you can get good at it, but it's harder. I think
there is a bit more of a luck element to it, which I think I agree with you. For a ride like this, it has a competitive aspect. Keeping it down to luck as well does, like you said, it does eliminate the person who becomes an expert in the ride, always dominating everybody else.
It makes it more fair,
Yeah, and then I think from a family dynamic standpoint is, if you have that one person that's like, I get accused by my wife all the time of cheating at video games because I just naturally figure them out quicker, and we'll be playing something competitive and she'll be like, you cheated. And I'm like, what? Okay. Like, she knows that I didn't, but she just, that's just her.
I know. I get it.
Her coping mechanism. But, this gets it to a place where, I could have a bad run on this and, somebody else can win, and it doesn't feel it doesn't feel like riding with if you are that kind of competitive person where you ride with somebody, you're not going, well, you're just going to win all the time, I don't care anymore, right? Like it keeps it interesting, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
I really like it. I think it's cool. I like that the guns are detached now, that when you actually hit the target, it indicates that you hit the target. Yeah. My gosh, like it's little stuff like that, but it really means a lot because in the past you just really half the time you didn't even know if you were hitting the target or not. Like now
I used in the Disneyland version of the ride, I've used the guns that are detached, and I remember I was doing that with my son, and it was great. Like, you can move around. It's so much easier to fire and all that. And then I think it was the first time we went to Florida, we got on Buzz Lightyear, and he was like, what is this?
What is this nonsense?
But he got into it right away, but it was like, he was like, I can't move it. All right. Yeah. And it was like, I think it was at that point, I was like, okay, well, you can drive. I'm not going to drive because I don't want to be whipping you around and, you getting mad because, you can't control where your gun is going. So yeah, this is definitely a lot better for everybody.
Also, just from the videos I've seen, they've greatly enhanced the tunnel scene. Because that was, it looked bad for a long time.
it was hurting. The projectors were in need of some.
Yeah, it looks like they just needed their lenses cleaned because it was always like so grainy and like
fuzzy and the bulbs were actually burning out. Is part of what was happening.
Well, and also just the animation was old. Now the animation is much better. You can actually shoot at things, and I can't wait to ride this again. I honestly I can't wait to try this out because it just looks so awesome now, and it makes me happy that they kept it almost exactly the same, and they just upgraded the technology. They didn't really change much of the scenes, like pretty much everything's the same. They just changed the targets and the technology and the cars, and like that's all it needed to me. Like, so
yeah,
this makes me happy. I love this ride in general. Even its old bad state, I enjoyed it, and now in this state, I think I'm going to like it even more.
Yeah, this is exactly what Tomorrowland needs right now. Is not everything needs to be the blockbuster like huge ride like Tron. Sometimes like these rides need love too. And I know we finished our prediction part of this, but I'm going to go back to this. I think Disney needs to put some more Omni movers in.
I know,
like whatever the next rides are.
I love your Omni movers, man.
I seriously think they just like, why are you not building more Omni movers? I know that there's trackless is the new technology, but Omni movers are solid and you can do a lot more with them than you want to admit.
It's fair. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Anyway, you had one last thing on here.
I think we should wrap up. Unless you want to talk about this, I
mean, let's just touch on it quick. Arendelle has opened up in Paris, and I have
to tell you, Trevor, I've watched videos of this and just looking at the pictures, they did an incredible job with theming in this. It looks incredible.
Yeah, this is back to our talk about them bringing or doing more lands that fit with the IP that they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean. Yeah, Arendelle is in the same lane as Cars Land.
Yeah.
And, I hope, we're seeing that in Paris. I hope that, not Arendelle comes over necessarily to Florida, but, more of this caliber. Like, I hope this is the new baseline for lands and stuff. Because it felt like they were a little bit like, sorry, you can get mad at me if you want. Toy Story Land felt very not well put together. It was missing a lot when it first came out.
It suffered from budget cuts. There was a lot of budget cutting, and they had to cut some corners that they usually wouldn't, and it didn't come out. There's still a lot of great things about it, but yes, I agree with you.
Yeah, it took it a while to find its footing because it didn't feel like you said budgeting kind of hurt it. Same thing. You can come from me as well on Star Wars Land. Star Wars Land Galaxy's Edge, while good, it was not complete when it was released. It took a long time for Rise of the Resistance to open up, and there's still elements missing from it. So I hope that they've learned from that, and I hope that, it seems like Arendelle is a good example of they've kind of learned to release the land with a more complete package. Right.
Listen, if you go on Rise of the Resistance, I think you'll realize why it took them so long to get it going. It's crazy.
But I get it. But my point is that they couldn't manage it properly to have it all come out at the same time to give that impact. Trickling it out didn't do them any favors, is my point.
I get it. I also just want to mention, Trevor, they have a drone show.
Yes, they do.
Listen,
Disney's had a drone show for a while, and they keep doing more and more cool drone shows.
Paris does the most. They have been doing drone shows now for a long time, and I believe it's because the drone company that the drone show company that Disney is a partner in is actually based out of Paris. So they do a ton of drone shows at Disneyland Paris, and they've been doing them for a long time now, and they're always super awesome, and it just makes me mad. Just want it here. Just bring it here. They have those little drone boats too, Trevor. We were wondering what those were, and now I understand what they are. So, but anyway,
you just want to see a drone version of Gary the Snake that they put on
Gary
here.
the Snake, yes,
Gary the Snake,
who my wife and daughter absolutely loved as a character, and they really enjoyed that whole part of it. So it was a great movie. I really enjoyed it too. It was a lot of fun. So
likewise. But I think I know we should call it here. We've talked about a lot. Yeah, let's wrap it because you got to go pack.
Oh, so God. I just have to find things to pack first.
Okay. Well, I wish you luck with that. So while you're packing, I'm going to go ahead and mention that we have an email address. As Jason's been sending us emails, you can send us emails sharing your own trip reports, sharing comments and questions about the show. You can always find us there at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. You can also hit us up through our website, which is welcomehomepodcast.co. You can go on there and, you can get to the episodes from there. You can also get to the store, but also there's the contact section where you can message us and sends us an email. So, that's one way to get in contact with us. You can also follow us on social media. So we are on Facebook as Welcome Home Podcast. We're on YouTube as Welcome Home Podcast, and we're on Instagram as Welcome Home Pics. So you can check us out in any of those places. Also on Facebook, we have a group called Welcome Home Disney Waitlist that you can join in, that we have, conversations, and, we're trying to, make sure, we're putting stuff out there for, people to talk about Disney stuff, but also we love seeing our listeners, again, sharing their own stuff in there as well. Cause what's more fun than talking about Disney stuff with other people that enjoy Disney. And that's what we're trying to do here. So, so we have all that. If you want to help support the show, you can go to store.welcomehomepodcast.co. You can check out our different merch there. If there's something you don't see there that you think you would like us to get into the store, drop us a line. Let us know. We have been trying to add more stuff to the store. So, let us know if there's a particular piece of merch that you would be interested in, or, like I said, if you buy the merch and, you're rocking the merch in the parks, send us a pic. We'd love to see that as well. And also in a similar vein for supporting us, we have a Patreon. So you can go to patreon.com/welcomehomepod. Check out our different levels of Patreon support, which have an exclusive logo on the merch that you can only get through Patreon. And all of our Patreon supporters get access to the Discord server, which we've mentioned a few times to the show, is just yet another place that we have great conversations and, everybody talking about Disney and convincing each other to go on Disney cruises and stuff like that.
I am responsible for a lot of Disney cruises. I'm realizing now.
Well, it's not just you. There are a few people in the Discord that have been egging others on, like, you should just do it.
You should do it. Yeah.
We're all good at enabling each other to take Disney trips. So, if you want to, if you want that, come join us in the Discord. Yeah. And last but not least, if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify or anywhere you can leave us a 5-star review, please do so. It just helps more people find the show because of how the internet works. And and you can also write us a review on iTunes and let us know what you think about the show.
And the other thing you can do, which is also really helpful, is subscribing to Welcome Home Podcast so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Spotify, YouTube Music, just about any podcast app that's out there. You can find us. Huge thank you to DVC Resale Market and Keyholder Vacations, of course, for sponsoring this episode and just being generally pretty cool and really nice to us. And we should be having we're hoping to have like a full reunion with them sometime, hopefully in May. Trevor, we're working on. So Danny wasn't kidding when she said she was going to make that happen for us.
I'm excited. It's been a while since we've talked with them. So yeah,
it has been. So join us next time for more Disney Parks discussion. Of course, more DVC talk. We hope to see you all real soon.
This is Skipper Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
When we had a chair, how she can cuddle is no man's affair. I look around for all the holes, found her in her sugar bowl.